Scorpio, welcome to a special solstice reading for you, and this is for the either the height of the sun or the lowest point of solar expression for 2018, which is happening on June 21st. And so it's kind of like a midpoint reading for you, and I don't have my computer open, so I'm just going to, I can't tell you the name of the website where I got this reading right now. It's really not that important because I can just, I know what each position is, so I'm just shuffling the cards. I'm going to be using a combination of Oracle and tarot, like one tarot card, and I will tell you what each one is after I do after I get to each card. Okay. Please forgive me if I go through these as quickly as possible. I've done like 20-minute readings or even more than that, and I want to keep it on the short side just because I have other readings to do, but also because it doesn't really, this is kind of just a snapshot and I don't have to make it that involved. Oh no, I want to have, let's see. Oh, okay, well that's okay. Even though I'm not doing this in order, they're for each position, so it really doesn't matter. And outcome card. Oh yes, here we go. Ooh, I got this for another sign, I think. Oh no, maybe not. Okay, so for the first position, this is kind of like the glowing obsession of yours right now, your passion in life. And this card and the one above it, the first two cards, are both from the Mystical Shaman Oracle deck. And this is a new deck, came out a few months ago. I was sent a free deck, and I was asked to review it on Amazon. They knew I was a reader, and I told them that, you know, that's not what I typically do, because I take it very seriously, and that means that I might even have to criticize a particular deck. Actually, I can't think of anything to criticize about these, so I probably could have done it, but anyway, I told them, I was very honest that I wasn't going to be reviewing it, and they said keep it anyway, so I feel it's the least I can do to at least give them a shout out. And what I like about these cards is that they are borderless and that they have a lot of variation in the illustrations and the colors used in the illustrations, so you can see the distinctiveness of each card, and that really is something that I can appreciate. There's some decks that I own that it's like one card blends into another. Okay, so basically, let me see. The symbol of flow represents the effortless and natural movement towards a certain destination. It signifies an ability to gracefully move around obstacles and reminds you of the sense of allowing. So perhaps some of you have really begun to realize that life is about flow. Because Scorpio is a fixed sign, I think sometimes Scorpio people think they have to double down. Like if things aren't happening the way you want them to, you might just apply extra effort. I think of all the fixed signs as like bulldozers, and they go over things over and over again because you are associated with repetition and consistency and application and, you know, constancy, endurance. But honoring the flow means that you know when to apply effort and when to surrender to the cosmic flow of life. Some of you are discovering this to your delight because life is becoming a lot easier for you. And the next position is Radiance, and this is how you shine your light in the world. And we have Earth Keeper, which is very interesting. Now this one, I can see the subtle outline, the form of that. It looks like half bird, half human. So let's see what this says. It looks very intriguing. As you care for your body, you show your care for Mother Earth. So begin with the stewardship of your health. What are you putting in your mouth? Are you feeding on foods and thoughts that are not good for you? Start doing what you know will be good for you today. And this is a card that the Earth Keepers are dedicated to the stewardship of the earth and all life. So this is connection with the earth in terms of both your own well-being and that of other people. And interestingly, Scorpio, being a water sign, gets along very well with earth signs, which have the real connection that we would say to this very thing. And depending on other aspects of your chart, you may have earth signs in it, and you may have that natural tendency to live a natural life and to kind of gravitate towards that. I'm a Sagittarian, but I have a lot of earth in my chart, and what I've noticed is that, you know, that term down to earth, really to me what that means is that you can separate the kind of trivial things in life, which can also involve luxury or supposed luxury, with really salt of the earth, we could call it, kinds of values and pleasures. And sometimes, like if I'm walking through a district, let's say in downtown Chicago, and there's very, you know, shishi and all that stuff, and it doesn't hold any interest for me whatsoever. I see doormen, you know, letting people in, and it's like that sense, that pretentiousness, that sense of like, you know, kind of stroking people's ego. And it doesn't interest me. I don't want it in my life. I have no interest in it. It has nothing to do with prosperity. It has to do with the kind of the things that go along with that to me are unimportant. And I am much more in awe, like in front of a lake, in front of a river, in front of a field, you know, like a meadow in the forest. That is so much more enjoyable to me than being in some place that is like the hippest restaurant. And so I suspect that a lot of Scorpio people are like this as well. And showing that, I think in terms of communicating it, is more in how you carry yourself and the kind of activities that you are involved with. So to me, that's the ultimate communication. Now, this is the ancient light. This is what you need to leave behind in shadow. The Two of Swords. This can be like indecision. With Scorpio people, I don't typically see them as being a sign of indecision. We always kind of rag on Libras for that. But you may have Mars in Libra, for instance, or Mercury in Libra, and that can indicate somebody who has an indecisive part of themselves, even if they're a Scorpio. Now, of course, you could have any moon or rising sign. But beyond this, the Two of Swords can be just having two parts of your nature that kind of are in conflict. So you may always be feeling that you're never quite in the right place because perhaps you have these two desires that are very far apart. What I can say about that is learning to integrate is important. So for instance, if you're someone who really likes city life, but you crave quiet, and you're like, how can I have both? Well, you can't. But you don't have to be all or nothing. You might compromise and say, I'm going to live in this city environment. Maybe every other weekend I will come and I will stay at so-and-so's place, or I'll switch places. But I'm going to spend most of my time in a rural environment. Sometimes Scorpio people think that they have to be all or nothing, and that's simply not true. You can take those two, very different ideas and bring them together and be at peace with them. Okay, and this is supposed to be what you are to remember on this day of the solstice. So it's kind of like the message for you for the solstice. This is from the wisdom of, this is from the Keeper of the Light oracles. I think it's pronounced Cernunnos. I'm going to have to look. Life force. Express your driving passion. Sensual and sexual powers are increased. Well, isn't that interesting? Because we're talking about Scorpio, who has kind of a reputation ahead of yourself in terms of sexuality. Whether it is legitimate or not, it still exists, doesn't it? Let us see what is up with that. Okay, the correct pronunciation is, this is Celtic apparently, is Cernunnos, also known as Hearn, is a Celtic stag god who represents connection to the earth. There we go with the earth again. There's a lot of earth around you, Scorpio. He is one of the oldest recognized Celtic gods, and features on the Gundestrup cauldron, a giant silver vessel from the Iron Age. He is the lover of the Great Mother and impregnates the land so it will be filled with life. He can help us form a connection with the animal spirits and the ancestors of our land. Before I continue with this, because I have a little bit more, I just want to say I'm just getting this strong feminine vibe, because the earth energy is feminine, as is the water energy. There is a deep, and of course Scorpio's water, there's a deep buildup of life force within you now and a need to channel it into action. You may have extra energy or be more alert than usual, or be aware of a sense of increased sensual or sexual energy. If you've been unsure how this ties into your spiritual path, know that it can allow you to access the richness of your soul. When we are not expressing ourselves sexually, our spiritual potential can become tamed or muted. So if you're denying yourself a desire, ask yourself how you can fulfill it. Ask Cernunnos to help you access your sexual self so that you can express it with integrity and in a way that honors your soul. If you and your partner are trying for a child and this card appears, fertility is very possible, especially if Bridget, Cernunnos' twin flame, is present too. Okay, well, I typically don't use more than one oracle card in a reading. This time I did with the other deck, but that would have been very interesting if I would have known to do so. And then the card of what to do more of in the future is represented by the Magician and the Mirror. Number 53. Isn't that beautiful? That rainbow-tinged edge of the mirror is just totally awesome. And there he's got that 8, well, it's a symbol of infinity, and this is the number 8. 5 plus 3 is 8, that the Magician card in the Tarot has. And this is from the Energy Oracle deck. And it oftentimes seems to dovetail with some of the tarot cards, maybe all of them if I was more aware of it. This card represents, upright, represents the culmination of your personal and spiritual power at this time. In the Magician's left hand, wait, I have to plug in my camera. It's about to go out, and I do not want it to go out. That's the last thing I want. Okay, there we go. In the Magician's Where was I? Oh, in the Magician's left hand is the flame of passion and action. Let's see if that is... In his right hand is a vortex of water and the light of reflection. This highly beneficial card is telling you that you are the magician, and within your grasp are the amazing forces of earth and spirit. There's that earth again. The water is the energy of yin, the power of spirit and clarity of thought. That's your element. The flame is the energy of yang, bringing direction and creativity. Together they give you the magnificent magic of transformation. Interestingly, Scorpio is ruled by both Pluto and Mars. And you could say Mars is that fire and that Pluto is the water, maybe. And Pluto is about transformation for sure. The mirror stands beside the magician, reflecting the outer world's response to your choice to use or dismiss the true power that you have. Its silver reflection reveals the future in a mist on the horizon, ready to be magically formed. When you receive the magician upright, you are put on notice that an important and powerful time is at hand. You are the alchemist in your life, and just as an alchemist turns base metals into gold, you are now able to transform your difficulties into great blessings. This is true in every area of your life. Claim your power and embrace your intentions in your heart and in your daily life. Direct your destiny, and the mists of the future will clear into brilliant reality. Well, that's really a nice card, and that's certainly a card of self-empowerment, Scorpio. So I'm glad to have pulled that for you for the future endeavors. And I hope that you enjoy this. I wish you a beautiful solstice. Take care. Bye.